Hi, my name is Amanda Moritz, and my topic for my final paper was the effectiveness of smartboards in the classroom. Over the last 40 years, technology has changed greatly. It is changing daily. That is why the 21st century is known as the digital age. With these constant changes, you would think that our education system was on the same path of change. It hasn't been. Students don't learn the same way they once did. Their brains are wired differently compared to the generations before them. We need technology tools in our classrooms to help make learning interactive for this new generation. That is where smartboards or interactive whiteboards come in. This tool can help bring the motivation and interest teachers have been looking for. The first smartboard was introduced by a Canadian firm called Smart Technologies. Amazingly, they were first created over 20 years ago, and school districts have just recently been putting them into their schools. The smartboard provides teachers and students with a whole new interactive learning environment to share information, ideas, images, animations, audio, or video. This is a completely new way of delivering information to students. My main question for my final paper was, how will smartboards increase students' learning? Students today use technology in every aspect of their life. Smartboards are engaging and therefore hold students' attention, which enhances their learning capability. My research process first began by looking online at the Rod Library for 10 peer-reviewed journals. This was quite a search because it came up with thousands of journals that were about smartboards, but not all of them were actually about smartboards. So I had to pick and choose and find ones that were related to my topic of effectiveness. Then I looked through our class textbooks to find information that was related to my topic of technology in the classroom. After I had found my researched information, then I created an outline of my paper to help me figure out how I was going to type it up. With my major findings, I found 3 different kinds of effects. The first one was the assessment scores. There was a study conducted with 50 students who were split into 2 equal groups. One group was taught in an experimental condition, whereas the other group was taught in a controlled condition. After the study was completed, Ozerbas found that the experimental group, who was taught with smartboards, was academically more successful than those taught in the traditional environment. Not only were the academic scores on a rise, but so were positive behaviors. Stomach and Stedman also concluded that smartboards had a positive effect on student achievement. The second major finding that I found was there is evidence that technology use boosts student motivation and is associated with increased academic achievement. When technology is involved, students want a chance to touch and play with it. By giving them the chance to use the smartboards, it greatly impacts their engagement in what is being taught. Smartboards are an effective means of augmenting typical teaching strategies to make science learning more motivational and meaningful for today's technologically advanced students. And the last effect that I found was retaining information. According to Teachers and Machines, the Samoan children that tested out the television sets in the classroom were learning twice as fast as they once did and were retaining what they learned. Smartboards are much like the television sets back then. They are engaging and keep the attention of the students, which increase their ability to learn and retain the information. A study was conducted by Melching, Gost, and Thompson on whether the use of flashcards or a smartboard was a more effective way to teach students their sight words. The study showed that the students read a greater percentage of words when they were shown on the smartboard. Rosen also discussed how presenting material through a variety of senses, including the ears, eyes, and sense of touch, promotes more opportunities for learning and enhanced retention of material. Other major findings that I found were the problems with smartboards. First off was the cost. Smartboards cost about $5,000 according to Petrilli. If a school has 3 classrooms per grade level and it is a K-4 school, the school is looking at paying $75,000. Schools already struggle with budgets. So, some schools, districts, have purchased smartboards and made them mobile so that they don't have to pay the price for each classroom having their own. One of the problems they run into is that smartboards not getting used because teachers don't have time to get it, don't know where to find it, or are not able to use it when they need to. Another problem that they ran into was inadequate training for the teachers. According to informal feedback that Martin, Shaw, and Donba conducted, it seemed that many educators felt as though they were being asked to use tools to teach students when they had not themselves been fully trained on how to use such tools. Many teachers feel as though they still struggle with implementing emerging technology tools into their classrooms and curriculum because of the limited training they received. A number of researchers agree with the idea that proper technology training is a major factor that could ensure successful infusion of technology into the curriculum in K-12 classrooms. The last problem that I ran across was teacher resistance. Some teachers feel as though new technology integration into their classrooms is just one more thing on their already full plate. It is no longer viewed as an asset for the classroom, but as a burden for the teacher. There is a fearfulness and reluctance among teachers that needs to be dealt with. Teachers feel reluctant because they don't recognize the need for improvement, and they are fearful for experimentation. Although teachers may not be as ready for a changing educational environment, their students are ready, excited, and crave newness. Accessories that actually come with the smartboard are the 4 colored markers and the eraser that you see on the left-hand part of your screen. An accessory that does not come with the smartboard but can be purchased outside of the smartboard is called the Smart Response Clickers. These can be bought to go with the smartboard, and the Smart Response Clickers are handheld clickers that each student uses. It allows them to answer the multiple choice questions that you post. Then the program quickly tabulates the answers. This allows the teacher to quickly see which students understand the topic and who needs more practice with it. This would be an extra cost to the district, but it provides quick formative feedback to let the teachers know whether he or she needs to reteach parts of the topic or whether the students are ready to move on. For future practice, I would like to start utilizing my smartboard in other subjects such as science and social studies. Right now, I use it mainly in reading and math, but I see a lot of benefits from using it during my science and social studies subjects as well. By adding more activities such as videos, maybe different websites or podcasts, I can make the lessons that I'm teaching that more interactive and interesting for the students, that it would help to motivate them and engage them more in the lessons being taught. And then also I had considered doing student projects with the smartboard as well, maybe having them create some kind of an activity for the rest of the class to use. Now, since I only have one smartboard, this would obviously take some time to have each group practice this, but I think they would really enjoy being able to create their own lessons. My new school in Arizona is equipped with smartboards as well. So after doing my project, I feel as though I am well educated on smartboards and can hopefully help some of the more reluctant teachers with using their smartboards and teach them about the different advantages there are to using them. And then this last slide shows you where I found my picture resources for my smartboard. Thanks for listening.